Some moments enter your life so quietly that you almost ignore them, yet they carry the power to change the direction of your heart forever. There are days that feel completely ordinary. The alarm rings, the clock keeps moving, you finish your work, you scroll through your phone, you drive the same roads, you carry the same worries. Everything seems familiar. Then suddenly your eyes stop on something that feels impossible to ignore. It is the number 555. It appears on the clock. Later it shows up on a receipt. Then it appears again on a license plate or a phone notification. A strange feeling settles inside you. It is only a number, yet something deep within whispers that this moment deserves your attention. That quiet pause becomes impossible to forget. If you clicked on this video, there is a good chance your heart has been searching for answers that words alone could not provide. Perhaps life has felt uncertain. Perhaps a door closed that you believed would never shut. Perhaps you have been praying for direction while walking through silence. Or perhaps everything around you looks normal, yet inside you know something is changing. There are seasons when the soul recognizes a shift before the mind can explain it. Those seasons often begin with the smallest reminders to slow down, breathe, reflect, and seek wisdom. Many people across the world talk about seeing repeating numbers. Some connect them with spiritual awakening. Others see them as simple coincidence. Still others believe they are reminders to become more aware of their thoughts and actions. The truth is that numbers themselves are not magical. They do not guarantee miracles. They do not predict the future. They do not replace faith, prayer, wisdom, or personal responsibility. Yet an ordinary moment can still become meaningful because it causes you to stop long enough to ask an important question. Where is my life going? What is my heart holding on to? Am I listening when God gently calls me to trust instead of fear? That is where the real journey begins. Most people will never hear this, not because it is hidden, but because they stop too soon. There is a powerful difference between chasing signs and allowing a simple moment to turn your attention back toward hope, gratitude, and faith. One creates confusion, the other creates peace. This difference has changed countless lives, yet many people overlook it because they keep searching outside themselves instead of quietly opening their hearts before God. Before August 5th comes to an end, there is something simple that you can carry with you. Not a complicated ritual, not a secret formula, not words that force heaven to respond. Instead, 5 humble words that can become a sincere prayer. 5 words that remind your heart to release fear, embrace trust, and welcome positive change with wisdom instead of anxiety. They are easy to remember, yet their meaning becomes deeper every time they are spoken with honesty. But before I tell you that, stay with me, because what comes next will completely change how you see this. There is a reason patience matters. Many people rush toward the answer while missing the lesson that prepares them to receive it. The strongest faith is rarely built during comfortable seasons. It grows quietly through waiting, through unanswered questions, through mornings when hope feels distant and evenings when the future seems unclear. Those are often the moments that shape the strongest hearts. Perhaps this season has stretched you in ways nobody else understands. You smile while carrying silent battles. You encourage others while quietly asking for strength yourself. You continue moving forward even though your spirit feels tired. That does not mean you are failing. Sometimes the deepest growth happens beneath the surface where nobody can see it. Just as a seed spends time hidden before it breaks through the soil, your next chapter may already be taking shape long before the first visible sign appears. This message is not asking you to place your faith in numbers. It is inviting you to let a repeated moment become a reminder to pause and reconnect with the one who gives lasting peace. Every reminder can become an invitation. Every pause can become a prayer. Every prayer can become the beginning of a stronger heart. During the next few minutes, you will discover why moments like this capture our attention, why change often arrives before we feel prepared, and why 5 simple words can help calm an anxious mind and strengthen a hopeful spirit. By the end, you will also learn one daily practice that brings all 5 words together in a way that can quietly transform how you face uncertainty, disappointment, opportunity, and every new beginning waiting ahead. There is still one question waiting to be answered. Why does a simple moment stop certain people in their tracks while others walk past without noticing anything at all? The answer reaches far beyond numbers. It reaches into the condition of the heart. That answer may become the encouragement you did not realize you needed today. If this message speaks to something deep inside you, then you are exactly where you need to be. Welcome to the channel, where we grow together through faith, wisdom, and daily encouragement. If you believe messages like this can strengthen your spirit and bring more peace into your life, take a moment to subscribe and become part of this community. Now let us continue, because the first of those 5 words carries a meaning far greater than most people ever realize. Many people spend years searching for a great sign while missing the quiet moments that are already trying to wake their soul. There is something about uncertain seasons that changes the way we see the world. During peaceful times, most people move quickly from one task to another. Days blend together. Weeks disappear without notice. The mind stays busy, but the heart slowly falls asleep. Then life changes. A relationship becomes difficult. A job suddenly ends. A prayer seems unanswered. A door closes without warning. In those moments, something inside begins asking deeper questions. Not because life became cruel, but because uncertainty has a way of removing distractions. It gently asks, what truly matters now? That question has changed more lives than comfort ever could. There is a fascinating truth that many people never hear. Psychologists have found that major life transitions often increase something called meaning-making. During difficult seasons, the human brain naturally begins searching for purpose instead of routine. It is one reason people become more reflective after loss, unexpected change, or a life-altering event. The mind begins connecting experiences that once seemed unrelated. Spiritually, many people describe this as becoming more aware of God's presence. Whether someone explains it through psychology or faith, both point toward the same reality. Difficult moments often awaken parts of us that comfort leaves asleep. Do not skip this part, because this is where most people make the biggest mistake. Instead of slowing down long enough to listen, many people rush to escape discomfort. They distract themselves with endless noise, more entertainment, more scrolling, more busyness. Anything to avoid sitting quietly with their thoughts. Yet silence often becomes the place where wisdom begins speaking. Not through loud voices, not through dramatic experiences, through gentle conviction, through peaceful clarity, through questions that slowly reshape the heart. There is an old saying that people rarely change when they see the light. They change when they finally feel the heat. While those words may sound uncomfortable, they carry a deep truth. Growth rarely begins because everything is easy. Growth begins because something inside finally becomes ready to move. Perhaps that is exactly where you are today. Perhaps you have been carrying questions that nobody else knows about. You continue smiling around family and friends, but your heart feels heavy. You wonder whether your prayers are reaching heaven. You wonder whether your best days are already behind you. You wonder whether the path ahead will ever become clear again. Those questions do not make you weak. They make you human. Nearly every person who has experienced deep spiritual growth first walked through a season where certainty disappeared. Sometimes life slows us down in ways we never would have chosen. A delayed opportunity, a broken plan, an unexpected illness, a difficult goodbye. At first, those moments feel like interruptions. Months later, they often become turning points. Looking back, many people realize the delay protected them. The closed door redirected them. The waiting strengthened them. The hardship taught them compassion they never would have learned any other way. Awareness begins when we stop asking only, "Why is this happening?" and begin asking, "What can this season teach me?" That single change in perspective quietly transforms everything. Instead of becoming trapped by disappointment, the heart begins looking for wisdom. Instead of assuming every delay is punishment, the soul becomes open to preparation. Instead of seeing only loss, it begins recognizing hidden opportunities to grow in patience, humility, gratitude, and faith. Here is the truth nobody says out loud. You were never broken. You were never lost. You were always growing through seasons that your present self could not yet understand. That truth becomes especially important when people begin noticing repeated moments that capture their attention. One of those moments for many is seeing the number 555 again and again. For countless people, those three numbers create curiosity. They appear unexpectedly, and the heart pauses. Some immediately believe it carries a spiritual message. Others dismiss it completely. Neither extreme always leads to wisdom. The better response begins with humility. Different spiritual traditions interpret repeating numbers in very different ways. Some believe they symbolize personal transformation. Others view them simply as reminders to become more mindful. Many religious traditions place little importance on repeating numbers themselves, while encouraging believers to focus instead on prayer, discernment, and faithful living. That balance matters. The number itself holds no supernatural power. The response of your heart does. Many people associate 555 with transition. They connect it with seasons where old chapters close and new ones begin. Whether or not someone accepts that interpretation, the deeper lesson remains valuable. Every reminder that causes you to pause can become an opportunity to realign your heart with gratitude instead of fear. Think about how often people miss life's quiet invitations because they are constantly rushing. A sunrise appears, yet the phone receives more attention. A child laughs, yet the mind stays trapped inside tomorrow's worries. A peaceful evening arrives, yet anxiety refuses to let the heart rest. Awareness is not merely noticing what appears around you. It is recognizing what is happening within you. If seeing 555 reminds you to stop for 1 minute and pray, then that pause already holds value. If it reminds you to forgive someone you have been avoiding, that moment becomes meaningful. If it encourages you to thank God instead of complaining, then something beautiful has already happened. Faith becomes dangerous only when people replace wisdom with superstition. Numbers cannot carry your faith. Only God can. Symbols cannot guide your future by themselves. Character, discernment, prayer, and wise decisions shape the direction of your life far more than any repeated pattern ever could. That is why chasing signs often leaves people exhausted. Preparing the heart creates peace. And there is an enormous difference between those two paths. And what I am about to share next, nobody talks about this. But it changes everything. Change rarely arrives after we finally feel prepared. More often it arrives while we are still afraid. There is a reason so many people resist change. The familiar feels safe, even when it is unhealthy. The known feels comfortable, even when it keeps us stuck. Human beings naturally prefer certainty because uncertainty requires trust. Yet every meaningful chapter in life begins with stepping into something that cannot be fully controlled. A child cannot become an adult without leaving childhood behind. A seed cannot become a tree without breaking open beneath the ground. Morning cannot arrive unless night finally ends. Growth always asks us to release something before receiving something greater. That process feels uncomfortable because comfort often becomes attached to identity. We become familiar with certain routines, relationships, fears, and expectations. Even painful habits can begin feeling normal simply because they are familiar. Do not skip this part, because this is where many people quietly give up. Waiting is one of the greatest teachers of faith. Waiting teaches patience. Waiting teaches humility. Waiting teaches dependence. Waiting teaches us that our value does not disappear simply because answers have not arrived yet. Many of life's greatest blessings begin looking exactly like uncertainty. A career change feels frightening before it becomes fulfilling. A move to a new place feels lonely before it becomes home. A difficult season of healing feels exhausting before peace returns. Looking backward, many people realize that the chapter they feared the most became the chapter that transformed them the deepest. Perhaps your waiting season is preparing you instead of punishing you. That possibility changes everything. Instead of asking, "Why is nothing happening?" begin asking, "Who am I becoming while I wait?" That question carries extraordinary power, because destiny is shaped just as much by character as by opportunity. Now let your heart become still for a moment. If you noticed 555 recently, let it simply become a reminder to whisper 5 sincere words. Thank you. Those 2 words immediately shift attention away from fear and toward gratitude. Gratitude reminds the heart that blessings still exist even during uncertainty. I trust. Trust does not require complete understanding. Trust simply says, I choose faith, even though I cannot yet see the entire path. Lead me. Those words release the pressure of controlling everything. They open the heart to wisdom greater than personal understanding. Give strength. Not because life is easy, but because courage often grows one difficult day at a time. Amen. A quiet declaration that says, I place this moment into God's hands. Those 5 expressions are not magic words. They are a posture of the heart. They invite gratitude. They welcome surrender. They strengthen resilience. They nurture hope. And they quietly prepare the soul for whatever comes next. But even sincere prayer faces obstacles. Fear whispers that you will lose control. Comparison convinces you that everyone else is moving ahead. Regret chains you to yesterday. Anxiety steals tomorrow before it even arrives. Doubt asks whether your prayers matter at all. Each obstacle grows stronger when it remains unchallenged. Fear weakens when gratitude grows. Comparison fades when purpose becomes personal. Regret loosens when forgiveness is accepted. Anxiety quiets when attention returns to today's responsibilities. Doubt loses its power when faith continues walking even without immediate answers. Small daily choices shape lasting peace far more than dramatic emotional moments ever will. Begin each morning with gratitude before reaching for distraction. Spend quiet moments in prayer instead of constant noise. Offer unexpected kindness even when nobody notices. Replace one negative thought with one hopeful truth. Celebrate small progress instead of waiting for perfect circumstances. These simple habits slowly reshape the heart until hope becomes stronger than fear. Many people who now live with deep peace did not arrive there through one miraculous day. They arrived through thousands of faithful choices that nobody else ever saw. And there are remarkable stories of ordinary people who discovered purpose only after walking through disappointment, loss, and long seasons of waiting. Their lives did not change because circumstances suddenly became perfect. Their hearts changed first. Everything else slowly followed. And what I am about to share next, nobody talks about this, but it changes everything. As this moment comes to an end, take one slow breath and think about how far your heart has traveled. We did not begin with a promise of instant miracles or secret formulas. We began with an ordinary moment that invited you to pause. Along the way, you discovered that real transformation does not begin with a number. It begins with an open heart. It begins when gratitude becomes stronger than fear, when trust becomes greater than doubt, and when each new day is met with faithful action instead of anxious waiting. If seeing 555 brought you here, let it become more than something that caught your attention. Let it become a gentle reminder to stop for a moment, lift your heart to God, and remember what truly matters. Numbers do not control your future. They do not guarantee blessings or remove every obstacle. But a quiet moment of reflection can change the direction of your thoughts, your choices, and your spirit. Sometimes the greatest turning point in life begins with nothing more than a sincere prayer spoken from the heart. So if these words resonate with you, say them slowly and mean them with all your heart. Thank you. I trust. Lead me. Give strength. Amen. Do not say them because you expect magic. Say them because they help you remember who you are placing your hope in. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, trust over fear, and faith over despair, you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. Everything you just heard, you already knew. Deep inside. You just needed someone to remind you. That is the quiet truth many people overlook. The peace you have been searching for does not always arrive through dramatic signs. Very often it grows through small moments of surrender repeated day after day. One prayer, one act of kindness, one choice to forgive, one decision to keep moving forward even when the road ahead is still unclear. Those simple choices shape a life filled with strength, wisdom, and lasting hope. Before you go, stay with me for one last thought, because this might be the most important moment in this entire video. When tomorrow begins, you will face new choices. Some will be easy. Others will test your faith. In those moments, do not wait for perfect certainty before taking the next faithful step. Walk with courage. Trust that God can guide a heart that is willing to listen. Every sunrise is another invitation to begin again, and every new beginning starts with the decision to believe that hope is still alive. If this message encouraged your heart, I would be grateful if you leave a like so more people who need hope can discover it as well. Subscribe if you want to continue growing with this community through messages of faith, wisdom, and encouragement. And share this video with someone who may be carrying a silent burden today. Your simple act of sharing could become the reminder they have been praying for. Until next time, may your heart remain peaceful, your faith remain strong, and your steps be guided with hope wherever life leads you.